The historic meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un now scheduled a month from tomorrow. Joining us is Fox News senior strategic analyst General Jack Keane. All right, General Keane, the big question is it really possible in your mind that Kim Jong-un and North Korea would give up their nukes?
Well, it definitely is possible. I just got back from the Far East talking to Japanese government officials, and they actually see this. They're closer to it than we are, obviously, and they see this as a real possibility of a breakthrough here. Look at Kim Jong-un has been playing everything close to his chest, even though he's been making major concessions. If he's serious, where we are right now is in a freeze phase. No nuclear testing and no ballistic testing. We would move from that to a disarm and then a dismantle phase. Kim Jong-un would likely try to drag that out for several years. We got 2.5 years left in the Trump presidency, first term. He would probably want that to go out way past that if possible. We're not going to want to do that. We're going to probably want to wrap this all up and denuclearize in somewhere around 2020 at the latest, and do it as quickly as possible. The other thing is Kim Jong-un, even if he is serious about denuclearizing, would likely try to hold on to some of his nuclear capability and conceal that from us. That's why verification and inspections are going to be absolutely crucial here to ensure that if he is denuclearizing, that we really do get all of it.
That was, of course, the Achilles heel of the Iranian deal, the really lack of concrete verifiable inspection, among other things. But General Keane, in return for North Korea going to denuclearization, what else would Kim want? I mean, obviously he wants to make sure that there's security, that America would make sure that no one, takes him out. But economically, because his father, his grandfather, they were able to shake the West down for a lot of money with deals like this that they didn't keep their promise.
Yeah, well, first, he certainly would want all the sanctions removed, which have taken its toll on him. And secondly, he's going to want probably some assistance economically. He'd likely get that more from South Korea than he would from the United States. We certainly were a catalyst to get the 3 UN resolutions on the sanctions, and we would advocate go back to the Security Council to remove them. But they're going to want those sanctions removed as early as possible. We're not going to want to do that until we truly understand that denuclearization is going on. Remember, they've always, in the past, have used negotiations to manipulate us to get relief quickly, and then they never follow through on executing what they promised to do. So this administration knows that. President Trump knows that. They're not going to be fooled by any of that. They're going to have to see a program that's real here. They're going to have to touch it themselves physically to ensure it's happening.
All right, the next one for you, General. Have to ask you about Israel striking Iranian targets in Syria. Now whispers perhaps of a ground war brewing. Your thoughts?
Well, this is really something that's different for 2 reasons. One is understand that there's a major military buildup going on in southern Syria by the Iranians so they can encroach on Israel. And what they did the other night was a first. They had General Soleimani, who heads up the Quds Force, on the ground, and they use Iranian capability to fire rockets right into Israel. That is totally different. Now, it wasn't a massive attack. It was 20 rockets. The Israelis were prepped for this, and they came back with the largest airstrike they've ever conducted since the Yom Kippur War in 1973. And they just pounded every military site that they had intelligence on in Syria, some of them right around Damascus, as far north as Aleppo. They were just pounding this place with a massive strike and done some real damage to the Iranians. We're creeping towards a war with Israel and, at a minimum, the Hezbollah and Lebanon, and a possibility of Iran. Iran is usually a much smarter strategic thinker than this. They don't want a direct conflict themselves with the Israelis, to be sure. They don't mind a conflict with the Hezbollah. So they're going to have to be very careful here, because Netanyahu is absolutely telling the Iranians, look, I got a red line here. I am not going to let you conduct a military buildup in southern Syria. I'm going to stop that from happening. And he's drawn that line, and he intends to enforce it.
Yeah, and I think they probably should take him seriously, because he has never been one to back away from. He's never made idle threats. General Keane, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good talking to you, Charles.
You too.